All right. Good evening, everyone. I officially want to welcome you to our 2026 Pre-Camp Leader meeting for Rhodes France Scout Reservation. My name is Matt Kaufman. I am the camping director for Greater St. Louis Area Scouting, focusing on Scouts BSA and venturing programs. With us tonight, we also have the leadership from Rhodes France. So if you guys want to introduce yourselves, we can have you do that.
My name's Tom Miller, and I am the camp director for Rhodes France Scout Reservation this summer. This is my first year as camp director, so I'm very much looking forward to meeting you all, maybe again, and working with you this summer.
My name's Sharon Renfro, and I will be the program director this summer. This will be my fourth year as an admin at Rhodes France, and I'm super excited to see everybody again.
Yep. Want to just take a quick moment to thank Sharon and Tom for all their work that they're doing already, from doing camp staff interviews, helping prepare leader guides, program guides, all of that stuff happening well before the summer ever gets here. It takes a lot of work and greatly appreciate what they do. On your screen, you should be able to see the contact information for each of them, as well as myself, if you need to reach out after tonight, if you just want to grab a screenshot of that or take a picture of it, whatever works for you to be able to reach out. That way, if you have questions that come up after tonight or anything specific to Rhodes France, you can reach out to us. Happy to help. You can also utilize help at stlbsa.org. That email address will go to our council help desk, and our support staff will get it routed to the right person to get your question answered in a timely manner. But always feel free to reach out to us if you've got something specific. We can definitely help you out with that. Next up tonight, we're going to cover a couple of resource locations, and then we'll kind of dive into more detailed information and then wrap up with some very specific program and camp information from Sharon and Tom. Uh, the QR code that you see on the screen will take you right to the registration page for this year's summer camp. And while you're already registered for camp, this is where a lot of resources can live under the attachments menu that you see featured there on the screen. So that's where you can find the 2026 Leaders Guide for summer camp, the class catalog, class attendee counts. On that page, you see what we call the campsite matrix, shows who's in what campsite each week, the number of attendees, all of that good stuff, the program guide for this year. And if we have other resources that we need to populate into there, we will do so. So that's a great spot for you to either bookmark or have handy if you need it to get back and see all of those items. Then the other resource location that we have on our council website, if you go to stlbsa.org/camps or scan that QR code, that's just our camps landing page. And if you scroll down near the bottom of that page, you'll see this camp resources and information menu. That is where we post all the other stuff that relates to all of our camp programs. You'll see things like the medical forms, links to those, campership application if you've got scouts in financial need. There's the special dietary request form lives there. Refund request form, also a form to delete participants off of your reservation, which we'll talk about a little bit more in detail here shortly. We have flyers for all the different camps that are happening. All of that stuff lives on that menu, on that camps page, and really on any page within our camping kind of section of the website, you'll find that same menu. So again, great spot to make sure you know where it's at to access all of those individual forms and links. Just a great way to have all those resources in one spot. Next, we're going to cover some key dates that are coming up for this summer. The first one, rapidly approaching, it seems, in about 3 weeks now, are April 15th, Early Bird Savings Day. That is the day if youth members are paid in full by on or before that day, they receive that $30 off to get that early bird discount. In years past, that has only been $20. This year, it is a $30 discount by paying on or before that date. So make sure your scouts and families are well aware of that upcoming deadline. Also know that any scout that has joined your troop from February 1st moving forward, so any crossovers or brand new scouts to the troop, those kind of things, they're going to get that early bird rate no matter what. So they don't have to hit that deadline. We know they may be signing up for camp a little bit later, might need some time to get those funds together. That's perfectly fine. Just make sure that you're registering them as a new scout in the registration system. That will automatically keep that low rate for them throughout. The next date on your screen that you will see there is the May 15th campership application deadline. So if you have scouts that are in need of financial assistance to attend camp, definitely have them apply for this. Sometimes people are a little embarrassed or shy to do so. It's a fairly confidential process, and can save you up to half of the cost of the week of summer camp. So definitely have individuals take advantage of that. We give out over 100 and I think it's over $120,000 in camperships across our council to make sure that scouts can attend camp. We don't want that financial impact to be a burden and prevent someone from attending camp if they want to go. Then lastly, May 31st, we ask that all the final payments be wrapped up by that date. So adult fees, class fees, etc. If a youth who is not one of those new scouts has not paid in full by that time, the fee will go up another $10 or so on that. I think it's 10 on that June 1st once that date passes. So getting all of those payments cleared up before you arrive at camp really helps make your check-in smoother. We're not having to send our what are we going to call Trent, our office assistant or whatever we want to call him out to find you to get those collected throughout the week. So taking care of all of that ahead of time is much preferred. So be sure to do that before May 31st. On the screen now, the refund policy, we're going to talk about it. The full policy you can find in the leader's guide. The QR code there is actually for the refund request form. So again, if you wanted to scan that and then bookmark it so you have it handy, that would be perfectly okay. The refund policy, like I said, is stated in full in the leader guide. One thing I want to throw out there and mention to everybody tonight is come April 15th, just after that deadline for the early bird dates, if you have any youth spots just sitting on your registration without names assigned to them, we're going to go in and clear those spots off to get a more accurate count of those scouts attending camp. So if you know that someone is going to attend camp, but they haven't necessarily paid you or anything like that, but you know they're going to assign their name to a spot so that then we will leave that spot alone. You can always add spots back in later if you have others add on or you just didn't get it added in time. That's perfectly fine. You can go into the registration and add more spots. But we need to get as accurate numbers as we can so that all of our plans are falling into place. So any refund request should be made at least 30 days prior to the opening of camp. And note that opening of camp is not necessarily your week of camp. So our first week of campers starts on June 7th. So make sure that 30 days out from that is that deadline. If it's submitted after that 30 days, then they need to meet one of the extenuating circumstances and submit any other documentation that the refund policy specifies at that time. For all refunds, there is a 10% processing fee just to make sure that we're covering, anytime you use a credit card, there's a fee. So to cover those expenses for those refunds going back and forth, there is that 10% processing fee. And then any refund requested after May 31st is only eligible for up to 75% of that fee back. We've been spending money at that point. We're prepping for those scouts to be at camp and need to be able to recoup a little bit of that if we need to. Sharon, do you want to hop in and answer that since you said you wanted to?
Matt, we saw your question about whether we wanted you to remove them with the form. It's always helpful for us to have an up-to-date head count. And so, yes, we would prefer that they be removed in rather than just letting them lapse out on their own.
Okay, great. Thank you. All right, moving on from that is my shameless plug that I am required by my written contract. No, not really. But we do have our 2026 camp t-shirts available for pre-order right now on gatewaytraders.org. They will be up and available for pre-order until April 27th. Then they will be turned off. You won't be able to pre-order after that date. If you miss that deadline, you can still go to the camp trading post and get them once you arrive at camp, but the pre-orders by April 27th. You can see the shirt featured there on the right on the screen, as well as a couple of the others, just to give you an idea of what we did across all the camps this year. Um, you will then also see the QR code on the screen that'll take you right to the Gateway Traders page if you wish to go ahead and order that as we talk through it. This is your way to guarantee the right shirt quantities and sizes that you need for your youth if they wish to get a shirt. We have options to have the order shipped ahead of time, picked up at our Central Illinois Service Center here in Decatur, Illinois, or you can choose to pick up at camp. If you choose that pickup option, please, please, please make sure you're choosing Rhodes France Scout Reservation. Don't choose something like Camp Llewellyn because that's, 3.5, 4 hours away and not where you're going to be. So please make sure that you're choosing the right pickup location if you are working through that process, making an order so that we get it to the right spot. All right. Few other registration steps between now and when you arrive at camp. We've talked a little bit about this, but ensuring those numbers are accurate now is really important. Sorry, there was a very loud motorcycle that just went by this building. Ensure your numbers are accurate. You can add additional spots on now. You can also request deletions. So the system won't let you delete a spot that's been through the checkout process. If you started to add one and realize you don't need it, but you hadn't gone through the checkout with that spot, you'll still be able to delete it. Otherwise, we need you to fill out that deletion request form on the camp resources page, and our staff will take care of getting that off of the account or off of the registration. Be sure to add names to all of those spots that you have reserved. That part is really important. Again, we won't peel off any registrations that have names assigned to it. It also will help you just make sure that you've got everyone listed that you need to have. Registering adults, also extremely important to help us with our planning, but also so that you know who's covering when. With those adult spots, there are full-time adult spots and part-time adult spots. So if someone's only going to be there Monday, Tuesday, or something like that, they can register in the part-time adult spot and only pay for the days that they're actually attending camp. The full-time adult spots, I always like to mention, they don't have to be the same person the full week for that full-time spot. Say Tom could do Sunday through Wednesday, but then Sharon was going to come in Wednesday. Tom was going to leave. Sharon was going to do the rest of the week. That's still just one full-time spot. What we ask is that in the registration, the person that will be there on check-in day is the person that's listed. Then, as they work at the camp office and checking in new people, checking out others as they leave, we can update those records so that we know who's in camp at all times. Next, make sure that your scouts are all signed up for their classes. That's important as well. There are not very many classes that will fill completely, but some will. Um, so make sure that they're getting signed up. Someone asked if scouts are allowed to register for partial weeks. Unfortunately, no, we don't have a mechanism for that in place because we want scouts to have that full experience of camp and attend that full week. So making sure that they are on that list as it stands. If you had a really unique situation that you wanted to discuss, shoot us a message and we'll talk through it and see if there's anything we could make work. Maybe it's someone that has to be leaving for something, I don't know, whatever it might be. Wouldn't talk through it, but in general, there's not a mechanism set up for any kind of part-time attendance by youth. The bulk of the program is designed for them to be there all 5 of the main days. So that's why that is not really set up that way. Lastly, on the screen, you'll see submit special dietary needs. So that dietary needs form is the way you do that. We are collecting information in the registration. We're making you check a box basically if someone has a special dietary need, and we will send that form out to all of those people that have marked yes to make sure that they have filled it out if they haven't already. Couple things to note on this. This is for people who have food allergies, medical concerns, not a lifestyle choice type thing. We can accommodate vegan and vegetarian menus, but if someone's just like, well, I'm eating paleo, well, I'm sorry, you might not at camp. Or you can choose to supplement your food a little bit on your own. But again, it's meant for those religious needs and allergies, those kind of things where someone just cannot eat what is being provided there. So fill that form out. If there is something that is super restrictive and we're not going to be able to meet that need, we'll let you know ahead of time and make arrangements for storage of food for you, some space to prepare it, all of that stuff. We can make work. It's rare that we have to go down that route, but it can happen in extreme cases. One that comes to mind is someone that has a severe case of like alpha gal, where they can't do any animal product whatsoever, and it can become really, really restrictive where we just don't feel comfortable or can't guarantee that there wouldn't be any kind of cross-contamination with the amount of products that limits. It's a pretty serious one and hard for us to do in a camp setting. All right. Next up, I think, is, yep, medical form. So the QR code on the screen, and hopefully you were all old hat at this. It's nothing new to you. But that QR code will take you to the Scouting America annual health and medical record. And that form is required for all attendees. So everyone that's attending has to get one of these forms, and if they and it has to be on this form. Even the Part C, the physical part, has to be on the Scouting America form. That is just national standards that we have to follow. If an adult is only going to be there for less than 72 hours, they only need that Part A and B, which is the consent and agreements, and then the health history part of the form. Part C being the physician's exam required for those that are there 72 hours or more. Um, I will mention that 72 hours is cumulative, not consecutive. So if they're going to hit that 72 hours or more mark at any point throughout the week, it's not, I'm going to come for 2 days, go home, come for 2 days, so I don't have to fill out the form. That will still count. Any amount of time that they're at camp counts towards that 72 hours. This does need to be completed within the last 12 months. All of the sections should be up to date within the last 12 months. And as an example, Rhodes France is really easy because they only have dates in June. So if yours was done anytime June 1st, 2025, moving forward, you're good. That will last in through the end of June of this year, so you'll be covered. So June 1st, 2025 or after, you're all set. If it's any time before June 1st, 2025, that will need to be updated. The one thing that I really, really want to suggest to everybody is that you collect these in enough time that you have time to review them and make sure that they are all complete and accurate, um, not missing any information. There's a couple columns on the health history where it talks about diet or allergies, so making sure that that is taken care of and filled in correctly is important. There are little boxes here and there, especially on this front page. There's one that says there's no restrictions that gets missed a lot. It's right under that little blue box on the right-hand side. It's like right there. So make sure that that does get filled in on all of them, etc. Just making sure that they're complete before you leave and head to camp. It's very, very helpful. Um, having a little time. Hopefully, you don't have scouts running up to the troop trailer and loading their stuff in and bringing that form that day, and it's half torn and wet and everything else. But so making sure that that's all done ahead of time is really, really helpful. All right. The other form that you'll see, and it's on the attachments page, mentioned in the leader's guide, etc., the QR code there will go to it, is the outdoor program parental release form. This is for all youth, so anyone that is under the age of 18. You could have them fill this out at your next meeting and just keep them on hand and bring them to camp. They're going to get turned in during check-in. There are a lot of standards and things that relate to permission being obtained before participating in an activity. This form covers any of the activities that we might be doing at camp. Um, and therefore this will cover what we need. Unless there is a special circumstance, like at one of the camps, we have an ATV program that has a separate permission form. Uh, but in most cases, this is going to cover everything and make sure that the parents are informed of all the activities that the scouts might be involved in while they are at camp. Again, I strongly encourage you to take care of this as soon as you can for those scouts attending camp, just so it's done and off your plate. Assign it to a parent to do, something like that. All right, pre-camp swim checks. We do strongly recommend that you have swim checks done prior to summer camp. Remember, the swim test is an annual process to assess swim ability and divide those scouts into those ability groups to be safe in the water, following our safe swim defense rules and guidelines within scouting. The form to fill out is called the Unit Swim Classification Record. A QR code on the screen will take you to a PDF of it. It's also linked on our registration page. On the second page of that form, it goes through the process of conducting a swim test. So it'll show you all the steps you need to take, what the distances are, etc., for each of those ability groups. This does need to be conducted by a qualified lifeguard, so someone with a current lifeguard certification or an adult that has completed the Scouting America Swimming and Water Rescue training can also conduct that test. Now, for summer camp, those are required to be those kind of credentials. We ask that you copy or take a copy of their credentials and attach it to that form, whoever conducted the test, so that we have that on record. Do want to mention if our aquatic staff at any point feels that someone is not quite up to that standard of what level the pre-swim test says they are, they may ask them to do another test. And that's just to be safe. That's really all it is. Aquatics is one of the more dangerous areas of a camp, and we want to make sure everyone is safe while they are there, swimming or boating. So they may ask for that to happen. And if so, if they definitely have that ability, they won't have a problem. And our staff will work through them if they do have any issues. This can definitely speed up your check-in day. It saves a stop where you don't have to go and wait for everyone to swim. Sharon and Tom, I can see them both. I'm sure you guys can't right now, but they're both shaking their heads yes and agreeing along with that. So just make sure that if you're taking part in that option, that you work it out ahead of time, get that form filled out, and get those credentials so that we can accept that during your check-in. All right, now the part of these that people that know me really like because I stopped talking and let Sharon and Tom kind of take us through some of the camp-specific program information related to this summer. So I'm going to mute my microphone and just kind of watch the Q&A and let them guide you through the next steps.
So we are super excited to have everybody. If you have not looked at it yet, we have a pretty extensive merit badge offering this summer, including metalworking again and woodworking. Both of them are super fun, newer merit badges that we've added in the last couple years. We do have both a lake and a pool at Rhodes, France, which is unique to us. So we're able to offer paddleboards, canoeing, kayaking, and rowing on the lake. And then we offer all of the traditional pool classes, swimming, and life saving there. We have an Apex program that is for 14 and older at camp. And I may be jumping Matt's slides here.
You did a little. We even talked about it beforehand, but that's
I
fine.
know,
You
I'm
do you.
sorry. Our Wayfinder program is divided into three sections. So we have a tenderfoot section, and then we have a first class and a second class section. They are taught in their own program area with a fantastic, fun staff. That staff will also offer an evening tote and chip class that the scouts can take, which is extremely helpful if you've not gone through that with them, if they're wanting to do the wood carving merit badge. We do not sign off on their books, but we will give you a list of everything they complete while they're with us during that program. And then once they are out of the section that you sign them up for, they can sign up for other merit badges as well.
One thing about the Wayfinder program, if you're not from our counselor, haven't visited our council camps often, um, at least at Rhodes, France, it's simply a 1 hour class. So it allows scouts to get what they need and to take a merit badge of their choice. I know a lot, like when my son was younger, it was a half day class or a full day class. And he's like, oh, but I really wanted to take, basketry or something like that. And now this allows them to do that. So they can really focus on the skills they need for those rank specific kind of topics, but also still get to experience camp in the other ways through traditional merit badge classes.
Yeah, Tom, great point. That is actually part of how the program evolved is we saw in Cub Scout summer camp programs, they would get more and more options on what they wanted to do as they came up through those. And then they came into a Scouts BSA camp, and all of a sudden they were told, well, you do this program, it's all day, you don't really have a lot of flexibility. So we made that change several years ago now to have that flexibility built in and allow them to continue that growth of choosing those things that they want to do. So I'm really glad you brought that up.
Our Apex program, like I said, is for Scouts 14 and older. We're still working on finalizing that schedule. In past years, they've gone to the Illinois State Police Training Facility. We've taken them on an Eagle Trail project canoe trip. We've gone off property twice a week with them in the last few years. We're looking to do that again this year. The 3 days that they are on property, one of the days is a specialized range and target activities day. One of them is usually team building and crate stacking. We are adding some things to our crate stacking area this summer, which they will get to have access to. And then one of the days is aquatics related while they're on property. They can take that 2 hour class, they can sign up for it. If they choose not to participate in activity, that class is during the time that we have open boat and open swim. So they are always welcome to say they don't want to participate in the activity and just enjoy the other things that are being offered on property during that time. Leader trainings that we offer IOLS, and we also offer position specific training throughout the week. And then we have access to internet if anybody wants to take any of those computer trainings online while you're with us as well. Family night for us is on Wednesdays. We begin check-in for that at 5 p.m. Families can purchase a meal ticket to eat with us in the dining hall. A lot of our units at Rhodes France like to do a potluck that night. We will help families get back to your campsites. Your site guide will get them back there to you. And then we have our Order of the Year call out ceremony on Wednesday evenings.
Sharon, there is one question, maybe you can answer this about merit badges. The question is instructional swim offered any other time besides first period? Because it does conflict with that 1 hour wayfinder. And I believe the answer is no, but I would like you to just double check.
Yeah, so instructional swim is offered both first and second period on the actual scheduling block. But if we have a scout who needs instructional swim, our aquatics director is fantastic about making sure they get that during the time when they're registered for swimming. So if they're not quite ready to complete that swimming merit badge, our aquatic staff will work with them in whatever hour they're in. But the actual instructional swim classes are that first and second period. All right. So, oh, first year that could use the instruction but is planning
I'll
Wayfinder.
I'll answer it real quick while you keep
Yep,
going because it's just continuing there, and I'll have a chat with
absolutely.
them.
All right, so we do offer open swim and open boat almost daily. There are a few days where we have some programming going on in those areas, but it's a camp-wide program. We have that time scheduled every single day from 3 to 5. We would encourage you that if your scouts feel really strongly about being able to swim for 2 hours every day, that you don't schedule them from 3 to 4 for a merit badge. Let them have the time to play. From 4 to 5 every day, we have open programming. We went to that last year. And so what that means is each program area will offer a little bit different activity. You'll be given a schedule that has that on it. And open swim and open boating are part of that open programming from 4 to 5 every day. I think the only merit badge that actually runs during that time is golf. And that is, it's a 3 to 5 class. And so if you have a scout that wants to do golf, then they will be doing that during that open time. Evening programming, we do Scout Olympics on Tuesdays, which is a patrol-based competition. Super, super fun. It ends with a Scoutmaster belly flop competition. We would encourage everybody, not just the Scoutmasters, but any adult leader who wants to participate to do that. I think that's the highlight for some scouts of the whole week, seeing people belly flop into the pool. We have a battle boats competition that we run at the lake, and that is a partner competition, and each unit can enter into that competition with one boat. We also, on Thursdays this year, will be adding a range and target activities night. And so we will have things set up for all different skill levels. When you get your check-in information, we'll talk a little bit about when our range briefings are. It would be important that if they're going to participate in that night, that you know that they do need to go to that range briefing on Mondays. And then we have our opening and closing campfire, of course, which is always a highlight of the week for us. All right, I think that might be all of my program stuff if nobody has questions.
Yeah, and although you guys don't currently have any staffing opportunities, I do want to take a quick mention of a couple that we have available elsewhere across the council. We are still looking for an aquatics director at one of our camps, not Rhodes, France. So if you know of a 21-year-old or older that is a certified lifeguard or able to become one, good strong swimmer and all, and could attend a week of national camping school prior to say June 1st. Feel free to reach out to us. That is actually at Camp Llewellyn, so it'd be a 4 week commitment. No camp over the 4th of July, but the 3 weeks prior to that, and then 1 week in uh, July. Then we also have a few different things available at SBRF Scout Ranch for different roles, but the biggest one that we are in search of is at least a 21-year-old familiar with our horse program or able to, not necessarily familiar with our horse program, but familiar with horses and rides and all of that, to lead our horsemanship program at the ranch, be our lead wrangler. So just another opportunity that is out there throughout the summer while your scouts are at camp. If they are getting to that age of summer of camp staff, then they will have an opportunity to let us know that they are interested in serving on camp staff or applying for camp staff for 2027. We collect a list and make sure that we send to those individuals when the application goes live later in the fall. So just wanted to throw that out there and make mention of it so that you're aware of those kind of opportunities that are out there. All right, I'm gonna go back to this page real quick, and if someone wants to just cover kind of how arrival and check-in work at Rhodes, France, for those that may not have been there before and need to know how that part's going to work, if any of you guys want to run over that. And yes, that's a very old picture, but the dining hall looks about the same, so it's
It's
okay.
not that old. Some of those kids are on our staff, I believe, this year, so
Well,
it's
yeah, the
not that
bottom
old.
right one though is a correctional officer for Macon County and has been for a little while now.
All right. Well, hopefully you don't have a lot of experience in the correctional facility there, Matt. But uh, the arrival and check-in will be on Sunday of every week. We're asking units not to arrive prior to 1 o'clock simply because our staff does not get there. We're not ready for you yet, and we need to give our staff their time off. Um, in order so that they can get back to camp and feel refreshed and able to greet you. If there is something where you're traveling from out of town or from a long distance away, I know, if you're coming from Florida or something like that, and you might need some extra, you're not ready to come in that late, please just let us know and we can accommodate things like that. But in general, you'll get about a 1 month out letter from either myself or our business manager, Trent Meddy, and we will send you with kind of an approximate time when we'd like you to arrive. And that's simply to just not congest the parking lot, but also all of the steps that we have to do once you get there. Medical rechecks will happen at the campsite this year. Those will not happen um, up front, in other words. So we will wait for you to get back to your site. I know as a unit leader who's done this many times on your side, the scouts are just excited to go back and set up their tents, and they're just so excited to just get back there. And so we want to try to encourage that as we want to try to make that as simple as possible. They're not sitting there listening to us talk about all the policies and procedures right away. So we're going to kind of break that up. We'll try to get you back to your campsite as fast as we can. We'll probably walk you through the dining hall, and then right back to the campsite where a site guide will meet you and our medical officer will meet you for medical rechecks. Um, you'll have an opportunity to sign up for swim tests. Had you not done those will be being performed pretty much all day Sunday by our aquatic staff. And we will offer a camp tour that evening. So again, our goal is to get you there, obviously safely, but once you're at camp, to funnel you back there with as little congestion as possible and allow the scouts and you to set up, hopefully not in a hurried atmosphere or one of frustration because you've been waiting in line for the 6 units in front of you to get through the dining hall or whatever. So um, we will make that happen as best we can. So I don't know if anyone has anything else to add to that.
Yeah, that was kind of just the rundown I was hoping for. So just so that they had some just general idea of what they'd be looking at outside of just what's in the leader guide. And also maybe to spur if they have any other questions on the subject. So right now, and I take my time on this because as soon as I say I don't see any questions, there's always some that pop in. So we do have just this time set aside to open up for additional questions that you might have. So if you have any, or maybe typing that, we'll give you a few to finish typing what kind of questions you might have. In the meantime, I will remind you all of a couple of things. One, we are going to be posting this recording online starting tomorrow. I'll email out to all the registration contacts within Blackpug on yep, sorry, as far as I'll get it posted on the council website and on the registration page. Someone asked, will the slide deck be available? I mean, I can make it available. I've never really thought of it, but sure. I will make a note and that will be up as well then tomorrow as a PDF. Hadn't thought of that since we've been posting the recording, but that makes a lot of sense. You don't want to necessarily listen to us to see all the slides. So that's easy to do. I appreciate that suggestion there. And as others may be typing, just want to again thank Sharon and Tom for their hard work and dedication, and all of the camp staff. We have a great camp staff lined up at Rhodes, France again this summer for all of you and your scouts to interact with. They're a great group, always willing to do whatever they can to make sure that you have an excellent week there at camp. All right, I'm going to say the words. I don't see any other questions. It's sad I can't see when someone else is typing to know when that's coming in because inevitably it does happen. So we'll give it just about another minute and then we
Maybe we
might
can go
just
back to
call
that
it.
slide that has our contact information in
Oh,
case
that's
they
a
think of something
great
later.
idea.
They can always email one of us and ask.
See, this is why Tom is in this role. He's keeping us all straight, has great ideas. All right. Well, we'll leave that there as we kind of wrap up, and I'll be ending this recording here really soon, but I want to take a moment and just thank you all for attending tonight. Thank you for choosing Rhodes France Scout Reservation and one of our Greater St. Louis area scouting camps. Always want to remind you, we have a lot of them. So we have different opportunities for your scouts to attend. We also have all those specialty camps that are kind of sign up on your own, including our STEM and Skilled Trades Camp, Horse Camp, the SBRF Ranger Program. And then you'll see some information online also about the Swift Aquatics badge workshops that are happening this summer down at Swift High Adventure Base. So again, not seeing any other questions. So thank you all for attending, and we will see you this summer out at camp.